My name is Hansen. I'm a filmmaker originally coming from China. Now I lived in New York. I'm also the producer of Always, which is a feature documentary directed by Deminga Chana, who is a cinema photographer and also the director for Always film. Always is a film about this talented boy in rural China who haven't seen his mom when he was only 3 months old. He writes poems to express his emotional journey by growing up alone with his grandparents in rural China. The film was started back into 2018 when Deminga just found this, teacher from this photographer fans group, and she posts these poems in her social media. Deminga happened to see these poems and felt really interested about these poems because it catch his attention. Then he started asking where does this poems coming from. The teacher told Deminga it is from the kids who she teaches in the rural school in Hunan province, where it happens to be Deminga's hometown. Then he started to make his plan to go back to the rural school and filming all these kids from the class. Then he spent a couple of weeks in the village and went into all these kids like a family, but also film around in the village. Initially he has an idea to make a film to explore all kinds of relationship between the landscape and the humans being, like how people lived in rural China and what is the relationship among each other and the country and everything. Then we met back in 2021 in an international pitching forum. He has a little bit problem to pitch this project actually, because he has really pioneering visions for making this film. He didn't want to follow any traditional documentary filmmaking process, which I mean following specific events or specific characters or things in the storyline. And he wants this film to be more immersive and more, creating the space and creative experience for cinema. And so we have the conversation to talk about the things that he has shot in the village and also what type of the film he wants to make. And interestingly, we don't have any reference film, but we knew this film and the footage itself has a lot of emotions and a lot of memories, a lot of dreams, a lot of passions. So we follows that instinct, and yeah, that's how we started. When Deminga was filming in the village, he was really fascinated with the landscape. It has so much a powerful force for him to shoot in that kind of rural settings in China. The landscape, it's like humans for him. When he starts shooting with all these plants and mountains, then when he turns his camera into this family, he knew that he wants to create this pure beauty of their life, because those people are living in a really poverty conditions in rural China. And this is the fact that we all can see as a filmmaker, but we don't want to shine lines on their poverty against. And what we're trying to do with this film is delivering a hope, or this beauty from our simple life. So the footage and also the frame, we want to make it as simple as possible, and also has this classical and divine feelings when you see the scene, when you see this family and listening to their conversations. So in the beginning, he has a lot of conversations with the family that becomes really close friend, and the family really accept him as an artist to come to their home and filming every day with them. They feel like it's a recognition from the outsider. Their kids was doing great in school, so they got this attention. So they're really open up all this kind of possibility for Deminga to make his film, and Deming was not that controlled in the sets. Like he didn't like ask them to do anything that he needs for the frame. He just really being patient and slowly like capturing their daily life at the corners of where they work, where they live. So when we have all this like footage and put in the timeline, I think all this sense of like growing up and this passaging of time, and also the poetic feelings coming up in front of our eyes, and we clearly knew that this film as a whole is a cinematic poems itself. It's not continued events. It's not unfolding specific things in the family with the kids. It's more about creating this space and creating these emotions to let the audience to engage and to feel about the childhood. The context of making this film is that it was shot during the time when the whole country is celebrating the anniversary of the parties. So the radio thinks it's broadcasting all these things. But I really opened it to the audience to have their own like understanding of all these elements. For us, we feel like it's a hope. And this is actually happening to all these people who lived in the rural China. This is what they, receive information every day. It's really normal things, and it's their life, and we want to include that context in our film to create this passage of time. But politically, we don't have any intention to talk about what's really ongoing in rural China, because absolutely China has progressed and developed so much compared to the past 10 years. But the people who lived in rural China, they're still, it's hard for them to get, all these new things in their daily life. But slowly you can see that people are spreading this positive image to the people who even living far away from China. We still have this hope. We hope this family will get better situation. We hope the kids will get better education when the policy is enacting more broadly in the marginalized community. So at the really beginning of this film, we have really a short sentence, or you can call it subtitle. The film is a letter to childhood. So the poems from the kids is a symbol of the childhood memories. We don't want to make a film on appreciating all these poems written by the kids, because the way we see it as a poems, because we are adults, we understand this a poems, but actually it's just the inner voice from the kids, and then this their own expression, their language, their voice, which is not that often to be heard in their daily life. So the whole journey of showcasing the poems from all these kids, it's like a collective memories of childhood. A time when all these kids are passionate to talk about their own feeling. So poems, it's a word for both of them to project their emotion and their daily life. Actually, as a really independent filmmaking team, and make this film is not a really smooth and happy memories journey. It's really challenging. It's a slow-paced film. It has black and white, so we have, and it's really different. I would say we don't have any reference film, and it's really new, cinema things in documentary. So we have encountered a lot of rejections. Even now, for a festival, there are some ideal film festival that we want to go to, but it's so hard to have them include our film in their lineup. But as an independent filmmaker, we hope to meet as more as possible audience in the festival. So we want to go everywhere. So if there's people who is looking for a meaning of their life, looking for their childhood memories, who is lost in their life, we hope this film is it's a safe space for them to find themselves and hear their inner voice again.